Good morning, Facebook. Today I'm going to start out a little bit different. I know I've been reading the scriptures right away. I'm trying to figure out if I should have my glasses on. I just don't like the reflection in the camera when it comes to the videos that I've been doing. But I'm going to do something a little bit different this morning. Instead of going right into the book of Psalms, I want to tell you a little bit about my life, how the Bible was invested in my DNA. Let's just put it that way. You know, the way that I grew up was a lot different than people think. Or if you know who I am and you're friends with me, then you have a little bit of an idea. But I want to tell you a little bit of a story about me on how the Bible was invested in my DNA. I like the DNA, or in my blood. So I watched my father, since I could remember, wake up every morning at 5 a.m. My father would wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. every single morning. I can't even tell you a day that he's missed. And he would read the word. He would literally, 5 a.m., read the word wherever God led him to do so. But the one chapter that my father would always go back to or invest in, and he had many different chapters, and he doesn't think that I remember this or no, but the one chapter was always the first chapter of Psalms. And so the first chapter of Psalms is, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord. In his law doth he meditate day and night." That particular scripture that I just read, my dad literally meditates on that scripture. And then after that scripture it goes, "And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish." So I literally watched my father meditate on this chapter for years and years and years, and still to this day. But that one scripture that I put into, "But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and his law doth he meditate day and night," I didn't understand as a child what that scripture really meant until I got older. I understand now that having a certain relationship with God, why David says to meditate day and night. Now I have an understanding why my father used to meditate on the scripture. Now I understand why my father would wake up every single morning at 5 a.m. before he would start his day to go to work. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my father now. So not only did my father wake up at 5 a.m., I watched my dad go and teach school at 6 a.m. at Munson High School. Then I saw him take on 2 other jobs as a college professor at Bay Path College and Stick College, I watched my father routinely do this, and I promise you, I know the only reason why he was able to do this is because he put God in his heart right in the beginning of the day before he would start anything, and have the energy to do so. In between these, I watched my father go to the gym. So my dad would literally go to high school, after high school, go to the gym, and then he would go and teach a college class. Routine. I literally watched my father do this. And of course it wasn't a big deal at the time, but now that I'm older, I'm seeing why he would do this every single morning and start his day this way, because it shaped the way he would think. It would shape the way he would walk. It would shape certain things that he would do spiritually. My dad also likes to sing a lot. There's just certain things that I didn't understand as a child, but now that I'm growing into myself, I'm now understanding why he does the things that he does. Okay? The only difference between my father and I is he's a teacher. And little did I know his legacy was going to get passed on to me. I used to make fun of him all the time. I used to say, I'm not a teacher, I'm not this, I'm not that. Now that I'm older, I literally see myself following my father's footsteps in certain areas. So my dad majors in the Holocaust in World War II. And he is very on teaching on the Holocaust and the importance, and also the history of that, and with Hitler and all that. So it's funny how he majors in that, but my desire is knowing the DNA of the Israelites and our people, and to know the history of the Bible and of the Jews. And I'll probably later on talk about that in time, but that's just a little story that I wanted to share live, was just watching my father, watching what he did in my life, his legacy of what he passed down to his children, is all of a sudden I'm seeing the footsteps that I'm following within him. He might be a teacher, but I'm becoming a minister. So, with that being said, just know that it is very important to start your day in meditation before you start anything. Before you even, after you wake up, go to the bathroom, it is so important to get into a certain type of meditation, because the things that will come your way or want to ruin your day or ruin your plans, because at the end of the day, we're trying to go up. We're trying to better ourselves. We're trying to get to the next level. And so you learn in time where you have to be in a certain type of meditation, because you're going to learn that you got to separate yourself from people. You got to separate yourself from certain job situations. You got to separate yourself just how you would do things on a daily basis. And I can say this, now that I meditate before I do anything, I see why he meditated on this. So I know I keep on repeating myself over and over, but just know, start your day with meditation with God. Start your day doing that, and I promise you, your day will be better. And the things that would bother you normally won't bother you. So that's my story I wanted to tell you, was about my father.